Hey everyone, my name is Derek Carnes with Thinkovator, and today we're going to be talking about domain names decoded. Creating a website is like building a digital home for your business. And just like your physical home needs an address, your website needs one too. A domain name is your website's equivalent of a street address. It's going to uniquely identify where your website lives, and this is also going to be what your users type into their browser to find your website. How do you get a domain name? Well, once you've chosen your domain name, you can go through what's called a domain register. It's going to be a service that lets you reserve your domain for a period of time, usually a year, and allows you to renew it. And when you're registering it, you'll just want to make sure that you go through an accredited Internet Corporation Assigned Names and Numbers, or ICANN for short. They're the ones that kind of oversee all the domain names and make sure that the servers hosting these domain names are legit. Something that you do want to make sure of, there is a difference between hosting and domain names. So while the domain name is going to be the address to the house, the hosting space is where the website actually lives or where your house is built. Selecting the right domain name is also crucial. You'll want to make sure that it's memorable, easy to remember, pronounce, and spell. Sometimes you don't really want to make fancy spellings with certain names because then people aren't able to find your website as easily. Try to make it relevant to your brand, your service, your industry. A little caveat there is you may want to determine whether you want a brandable domain name or a domain name that kind of explains what you do. So an example of that might be Apple. Apple is a brandable domain. They could have done anything with it. They just happened to go into the technology world versus Derek'sCleaningsupplies.com. There you're going to know that I deal with cleaning supplies, but now I'm stuck with a domain name that's saying all I can do is sell cleaning supplies. There isn't one better or worse than the other. Just something to consider. And be concise. So the shorter the name, the better, as long as it stays relevant to what you're looking for with your brand. Try to avoid hyphens because that just makes things a little more confusing and people don't tend to associate hyphens with domain names. And then future-proof it. Consider how your domain will grow with your brand. So going back to that idea of whether you want it to be brandable or if you're okay with it describing what your business does. A well-chosen domain name can contribute to your SEO. It's also going to help your brand recognition and ultimately it could help your success of online presence. It's going to be the first impression that your customers have of your brand, so try to make it a good one. Your domain is a fundamental aspect of your online identity. When you're navigating the complexities of online websites and domain names and servers and hosting, start with the best domain name possible just to make it easy for yourself. And remember that the domain name isn't just a URL that you type into the browser. It's also going to be your brand. So choose wisely.